All right, all right. Shalom, shalom, and shalom, Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. I'm again on this Deborah platform with another message. And I will say this is a lovely evening in which the Most High Yah has made, and I, Sister Deborah, shall and I will rest therein. I'm uploading, I'm making this video on Tuesday, um, March the 12th. Being so, YouTube have banned me for 7 days. They call it a strike. And you know what? I am all well with it. The message that I'm about to bring forth is a message in which strictly spirit and truth. It is strictly spirit and truth. And with this, I'm going to make it make sense. Okay. And I'm going to title this message a pretty harsh title, a pretty harsh title. But in the title, it's going to uphold 100% truth. Okay. So when you see this and you see the title in which I shall title this message, don't feel offended because it need be. This is how individuals need to be addressed. What I'm hearing is we have what I would call Hebrew Israelite men and women, but I haven't heard it out of the mouth of the women, but I'm going to add them on along with them because there's many silly women following silly men. Okay. You need to stop saying that the Most High Yah is a black man or is melanated or is a Negro. You need to stop that. There's no scriptures you can find that tells you that. And just because you had it wrong since the beginning don't mean you got it right in these end days. You still have it wrong all the way up into the year 2024. You had it wrong and you still got it wrong. You know that word that says you're worse than your forefathers? That you are for sure. Okay? Now, as I said before to many people, that in the end days, knowledge shall increase. And what I am seeing is knowledge is coming in the spirit realm. It's not coming in the natural. You know that technology has increased and so on. So this knowledge increasing is not technology, the knowledge of the world. But he's speaking the knowledge in the spirit realm shall increase. That don't mean people gonna increase in understanding the spiritual knowledge. It's just that he's going to allow many to be speaking this knowledge, this spiritual knowledge in this in days. And it's not saying for those who are searching or seeking or desiring. No, it's over for any and everyone, even Sister Deborah. Anything else outside of what he keep giving me so that I can keep um, showing up and running the race. This is what he feeds me. He feeds me the spiritual knowledge and wisdom and the spiritual understanding of who he is. So I need you all out there to stop making Yah a nationality. Stop making him a race. Stop making him like unto flesh. You're lying to the people. As bad as you want to be somebody, and you have not shown yourself to be nobody since you've been here. So don't go trying to make yourself somebody by using him to category that he is who you are, who he is who your people are, because it's not true. It is not true. And you've been doing it for a long time, especially on YouTube. You all been lying and on these street corners, and you've been teaching in these churches, in these academies. You've been lying. Yah is not a black man. Yah is not a melanated man. He is not a Negro. He is not an African American. Stop the line. I see Europeans that everybody is so excited saying they're awakening because they're saying that Yah is a black man. Yah is not a black man. Okay? And once you go out in the deep of the sea and you've gone out so far, you can't find your way back home. There's no way for you to come back home. That means you can't find your way to dry land. You can't find your way to that spiritual knowledge, that spiritual wisdom, nor that spiritual understanding, because you've gone too far deep. Now you got to wait until the Most High Yah do what he does best. Okay? And that is in the end day. Okay? In which we are in. So I, Sister Deborah, want to make sure that this whole topic covers the fact that Yah is not a melanated man, a Negro, nor a black man. He is a spirit and he shall always be a spirit. Again, because you missed it in the beginning, you're confused here today at the end. But that's because you swam too far out in the deep, following someone, trailing by someone, hearing the words of the flesh of man and not the spirit of the Ruach. So that's why you out there in the deep and can't see dry land. Okay, so let's cover this. Let's start with Genesis chapter 1 and verse 2. In Genesis chapter 1, we're going to start there and we're going to go to verse 2. In Genesis chapter 1 and verse 2, it says, and the earth was without form, okay, and void. The earth was without form and void. And the darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the spirit, what does it say? Does it say a black man? Does it say a Negro? Does it say an African American? A melanated Yah? No. It says, and the spirit of Yah moved upon the face of the water. The spirit of Yah. Yah is a spirit. He was a spirit. He is a spirit, and he shall always be just that, a spirit. Too many lies going on such a time as a midnight hour that we are in. Too many lies, y'all. And it's a sad thing because I'm sitting back and I, as a prophet is in the wilderness, have to behold and hear and try to bring make some sense of it. And you can't. But today I'm gonna make it make sense that Yah is a spirit. And that's the only way we can worship him. Is in our spirit that he reside therein. Okay, so in Genesis chapter 1 verse 2, it says the earth was without form and void, and the darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the spirit of Yah moved upon the face of the waters. Now this is where I have an issue here as well. I'm gonna back that thing up and back that thing down. We got scholars call themselves well educated. We got people who are leading the mass, the multitude, want to really and have added and have taken away. I heard a pastor teach this to his congregation that there were others here on the earth because in Genesis chapter 1 and verse, let me get to it, verse 28. In Genesis chapter 1 and verse 28, it reads, and Yah blessed them, and Yah said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. Replenish means to redo it. It doesn't mean that someone is here already. Someone is on the earth. Someone is present here on the earth. Replenish means to redo it. Listen to what it says. And he said in Genesis 1 and 28, and Yah blessed them, and Yah said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it and have dominion over the fish, the sea, and over the fowls of the air, and over every living thing that moves upon the earth. Did he say he have dominion and replenish? No. And subdue? No. He said he and her. That's the first right there where man turned their back away from the face of Yah and went their own way. They led to their own understanding, and they took it and they switched it and they twisted it, turned it up and turned it down, and Yah stood back and said, everything is well. It's going according to my will. You see? Because they took it out of that when it says him and her to replenish. It says to replenish the earth and subdue it and have dominion over the fish in the sea and over the fowls of the air and over every living thing that moved upon the earth. What happens in that perfect time of creation? Man went into the perfect time and he switched it and turned it to the opposite of what God said. He didn't say him, he said them. Okay? It wasn't something she did that caused her to lose the perfect will of Father. No. But man says she has done something that required her to lose her position in which Yah was creating her for. And that was to replenish the earth, have dominion over, and subdue it. Man, this is a man's word. And this is the word you see. Who come down to deceive the whole world? Satan. So he met up with man to deceive the whole world. And they have done an excellent, perfect job completing the will of my Father. Okay? So what I wanted to say with that is you got pastors and learned people and scholars. They want to take replenish as if some entity or some human or some creature or something was already here. That's not true, y'all. That's not true. Let's go back to Genesis chapter 1, verse 2. And the earth was without form. Why wasn't it? Why was it without form? It was void. It was nothing. You could see nothing but darkness and water that was pitch black. Okay? It was void. It's telling them that. But what do man do? He get with Satan and switch the perfect will and the perfect creation of the Father. And they switched it and said that there was someone else on this earth. No. What they didn't understand, the way that he was creating things, he was creating things underneath and above. Okay? And what a lot of them did not know, before the water, that was the deep, the face of the deep, that darkness with no form, it says, and the darkness was upon the face of the deep. It's telling you water. And the spirit of Yah moved upon the face of the water. There was all water. No form, no shape, no people, no creatures, just water. Now, what had happened? From what I understand, I don't want to put the years on it. I'm going to do a little what you call just adding into what I know that he has given me. There was once creatures on the earth. Okay? Those things really exist. into the ice age, destroyed. He's telling them to replenish because it was once destroyed, you guys. And that's why you see the water. When it was destroyed, y'all, understand, from the top to the bottom to the bottom to the top was destroyed and left what? Water. There was no sun, there was no moon, there was no light in the heavens, there was nothing. That's how his spirit moved upon the face of the water. Now, what are these pastors teaching and these so-called learned people, these scholars and these so-called saying they know everything? Why is it they insist on there was already human beings on the earth before he created this earth that we are on? They because of one word, replenish, subdue it. The word replenish gave them the idea to take the story another way. Replenish was coming out of the mouth of the creator who knows that at one time he had something present. But now I want you to redo it the way in which I am giving you to have dominion, to subdue it, to replenish it. Only one can say that there were something here at one time was Yah. And he did when he told Adam to replenish. But it wasn't giving us this spirit as if we know what was way before he created, because there's nothing that we can say, do to put that in the mouth of Yah. And he did not say it. Oh, yeah, we can say a lot of things that man has said. That's why I said this is not the word, because it's full of stories and the mouth of man. But until you have heard with an ear to hear the Ruach, which is the creator of, which is he that created all things, until he come in you and teach you from that end, you still lost without a cause. You them people who out in the ocean somewhere, way out, so far out, you can't see dry land. I just wanted to talk about that because I'm so sick of these leaders, and these people are leading the mass, y'all, in the multitude. And it's very disturbing. But you know what? I must keep in mind, you got a lane, baby. You got a lane to run in. Run that lane, baby. Run in your lane. Because I run in that lane with spirit and truth, with the light in my right hand. These people out here running y'all butts out into the middle of the ocean where you'll never see dry land. And that dry land represents spiritual knowledge, spiritual understanding, spiritual wisdom of the Most High Yah. You'll never find truth out there in the deep where they have driven you off. Okay? So we need to stop saying that the Father is uh, 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 um, melanated, Negro, Black, African American. Stop that trash, y'all. Like I said again, just because you didn't understand what took place before the foundation of the world, you didn't understand Genesis 1 and 2, that's on you. You the one took it out of the order. You got with the men, you got with the Roman Catholics, you got with everybody to uphold and build your own understanding. Now you stick with it. Okay. The Most High Yah is not black, y'all. You're not going to go to the kingdom and see him or even think him to be that, or else you will not enter in. I can tell you that. Okay. So we're going to now go to let's keep it exactly where it's at. Okay. Let's go to, ooh, I got so many good ones. Oh, I don't know where to start. Uh let's go to let's go into John, the Gospel of John. Let's start with the Gospel of John, chapter 1 and verse 5. Let's go to the Gospel of John, chapter 1 and verse 5. Now, after I'm done with this message, it's going to be many walk away and still have that same mentality. That's what he's been teaching me since I've been off this type of platform. When the enemy means something for bad, y'all meant it for good. For good. Because what he did is he taught me a lot of things. I got a lot of videos that I'm going to upload. Now, this one here is in the Gospel of John, chapter 1 and verse 5. Okay. In the Gospel of John, chapter 1 and verse 5. And this is not, that's not it. No. The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 9. That's it. Chapter 1, verse 9. The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 9. That was the true light, which lighted every man that cometh into the world. How did he light it? Every man that come into the world. How did this one light lit it every man that come into the world? Because the whole thing that Yah had planned from the beginning was to give man a light like unto himself. He is the capital light you see in Gospel of John chapter 1 and verse 9. He is that capital Light, which lighted or lit it. I said lighted every man that come unto the world. What was that I told you all about? That's that breath of life he give every man, let's say every human that come into the earth, into the world, come in. They receive the breath of life, and the breath of life, when it's blown into the flesh, it gives you a light, which is a spirit. He's the capital light, you're the lowercase light. So tell me, that light that's in you is not your nationality, all right? It is a spirit likened to the image of Yah. Okay. So when you see the Gospel of John, chapter 1 and verse 9, it says, that was the true light. He is the true light. The Father is, which lighted every man that come into the world. That means like any child that's born and they come in, okay, they have to receive the breath of life. And they have to, when they receive the breath of life, guess what they receive with it? The spirit. Once the breath come into him, they receive a spirit, and now they become a living being. You see? That's another thing that's kind of sad because they didn't understand the beginning. And like he said in time past, Deborah, if they didn't understand the beginning, they ain't gonna understand the end. So it makes a lot of sense. So here it's in the Gospel of John, chapter 1 and 9, it's telling you that the Father is a light, a capital light. And he gave every man a light like unto himself, but they are the lowercase light. What does that mean? That was his image. He's a spirit, which is a light. And he gave every man that come into the world. Notice right here where it says the Gospel of John, chapter 1 and verse 9. It says, that was the true light, which lighted, he lighted every human that come into the world. Into the world. So a child is not born because he's in his mother's womb. A child is not born because it's many of them in the learn of a man. All those seeds. He only receives the light once he come in to the world. They cannot receive the breath nor a spirit until they come into the world. So you see how people been lying about abortion and about, oh, they killing the babies and they killing the black. You know what? I am 100 times 100 against abortion, and always will be. But I tell you this, our Negroes are some of the dumbest people on the earth, because it never dawned on them that Yah will pull up with spirit and truth on them at any time, especially in this day and time. That's why they run into other understanding and other books, and running right back to the vomit, which is the Europeans. They're running right back to the vomit of the Europeans' books to try to find refuge, to try to find understanding. And he already told you all the books ain't gonna get it. I am the word. They don't get that. They got to go travel and find all books. Okay, now listen to what this saying here in the Gospel of John, chapter 9. The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 9. That was the true light which lighted every man that come into the world. What is that saying? You don't get to get the breath of life and a spirit which the breath bring into one when you're born until you come into the world. You have to come into the world. This is what the disciples were asking, and many asked the question to ask Yeshua about the betrayer. Many ask many of things about a child in the mother's womb, or if it would have been better had he not been born. You see what I'm saying? When you're in your mother's womb, you are not born. You are not born until you come into the world. It tells you that right here. It tells you that in the Gospel of John, chapter 9, the Gospel of John, chapter 1 and verse 9. That was the true light, which lighted every man that cometh into the world. He's letting you know. God letting you know, I give the breath of life that breathe in a spirit into your flesh. So when you come in, that's what you receive. There were times in the old days they would turn the baby upside down and felt that they had to hit up their bottom to what? So they can take that breath in. You see? You see? So what I'm trying to explain to you all is this goes back to the lying mouths that speak it of abortion, that a child is being killed, and that is the world that has created that technology and that a way of eliminating babies and using, believe it or not, the fetus for all kind of things. But one thing you cannot give a fetus is life, because only one can give that fetus life is Yah. And he just gave you the prime example. And you can also find it in Isaiah chapter 49 and verse 6, and First John chapter 2 and verse 8. You got to come into the world to receive the breath of life and that light, which is a spirit, which is the image of Yah. You can't be in your mother's womb with that. That's not of Yah. You see what I'm saying? I learned that myself after having two children that was born nice and healthy, and they passed away. Okay, one 3 hours, one 3 days. No, he lasts longer than 3 days. Probably 3 weeks. 3 weeks, I think it was. Yeah, one that lasts 3 weeks versus one that lasts 3 days. I think it was 3 weeks. But they were born. The one that was born 3 weeks, he couldn't breathe on his own. He didn't have the shunts, the vessels that leads to his heart and his lungs. One wasn't developed. So he needed to have surgery to put shunts. You see? So he was having surgery after surgery after surgery. And the third, he had about 5 or 6 surgeries. I think after that, that was it. He didn't make it. Trying to get him to have space to what? Breathe from his heart to his lungs. It have what it needed to breathe. Okay, the heart and the lungs. It was pulmonary arteries. So it was the shunt that leads to his pulmonary arteries. The other child didn't survive after 3 hours. So let me explain to you. Those were testimonies. I have explained to you all that I got testimony all around my waist. You can't tell me nothing. I don't even let you waste your time. I don't care if you're a scholar. I don't care if you've been you a Hebrew, a learner of Hebrew, speak Greek, Hebrew. I don't care if you've been in this thing a million years. You still don't know nothing. You a million years lost and still ain't been found. Okay. So here in John, the Gospel of John explained to you that the capital L is Yah. The capital light is Yah. And the lowercase is the spirit that he gives every man that come into the world. But notice it says you have to what? Come in, not be in your mother's womb. In your mother's womb is not life. You're living off of her life. That's why men never understood when he said that, wait a minute, it is not good for man to be alone. He can't bring forth life. See, he didn't get that. He thought it was meaning, satisfy his lust. And that's a sad thing. Here today, that's their mindset. Gone. Gone. No spirit and truth nowhere found. He was saying it is not good that man shall be alone, because the way that he had orchestrated as he spoke it in Genesis chapter 1, let us make man in our image, and Yah made man, him and her. That's why when he see him in the garden, wait a minute, y'all. This is not going to complete my will. It's not good that he just be alone. But see, if you let these men keep teaching y'all, filling y'all with all these sick things of the flesh, they will tell you she was created for their lust, their pleasure. No, baby. She was created to bring and hold your seed. Bring it forth, feed it, and nourish it. You see how much woman should be getting credit for? You see how much she had to do and had to, how would I say it, live with all these years for you to get the credit and walk around and never be responsible for not one seed that you dropped. But yet you think Yah is going to let it be okay with you. You know what? I don't have a heaven and a hell to put nobody in, but I'll tell you right now, as a prophetess, the Father, what he teaches me is nowhere near what these men are teaching and preaching, and have not been for years. They've been living a lie, and the lie been living them, and they are so happy in their lives. Right here is a prime example. When you hear the Gospel of John, chapter 1 and verse 9, it's a prime example that every woman at the sound of my voice should look at verse 9. That it was the true light which lighted every human that cometh into the world. Every human that come into the world. That means you got to come in. You got to come into the world, not be in your mother's womb. You're not in the world until you come out of her. And now you're born in the world. How many times have he said it would have been better had he not been born? Because he knows there's no destiny connected to you outside of the kingdom if you're not born. Because born brings you the breath of life and a spirit that got to stand before the throne. Y'all been lied to for so long. Sister Debbie be here all night teaching. It ain't gonna mean nothing. That's how thick the lie is. Okay. So I wanted to show you that capital light is a spirit, and he said, I will give you, he will make him in his image and in his likeness. He is the image of a spirit, so he gave you a spirit. Why did he give you a spirit? He gave you a spirit so that when he come in you, that will be his connection inside of you. That's it's where he will come to teach you and reside in you is in your spirit. He don't want no part to your flesh because it belongs to the flesh of man. You see what I'm saying? It has the ways of the flesh of man, the Father. So he need your spirit to be about his ways. So that's why he gave everyone, male and female, that's born, that come into the world, he gave you an image like unto his image, which is a light. He's a capital light, and you are the lowercase light, which is a spirit like unto him. He's not a Negro. He's not who y'all think he is and never was. That's just a lie that have been outlived thousands of years. Okay, so let's go to John, uh, the Gospel of John, chapter 1 and verse 18. In the Gospel of John, it's the same chapter, chapter 1 and verse 18. No man has seen Yah at any time. The only begotten Son, which is in the bosom of the Father, he has declared him. Now, you notice he said he's in the bosom because that is Yah. The Son, the begotten Son is Yah, and which is in the bosom of the Father. It's the Father himself. That's the only one that can say, I truly identified, I truly looked upon the Father and saw him. You see? So he's saying here, no man has seen Yah at any time. So if you, what would make a bunch of people believe these Negro men out here saying that he's melanated, that he's black, he's an African American, he's a Hebrew Israelite? What would make them come up with such trash? Because it shows you the level of their mindset and how long this mindset been like this. Okay. So here in the Gospel of John, chapter 1 and verse 18, it says, no man have seen Yah at any time. The only begotten Son, which is in the bosom of the Father, he has declared him. You can't say you seen him. These men need to stop saying that he's black. And the reason why I say they need to stop it is when they're teaching and they're speaking, they're telling these people that God is melanated, he's black, he's a Hebrew and he's a this. He's not. He never was what you all said that he is. I can show you what he is, though. Genesis 1 and verse 26. In Genesis 1, verse 26, and Yah said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowls, and over the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and everything creeping on that creeps upon the earth. Verse 27. So Yah created man in his own image. Now, what is Yah's image? Spirit. So when he breathed the breath of life in us, he is blowing in a light in us, which is a spirit. Why we insist on making him something that he is not, it's because that's the sick mind that Sister Deborah told y'all 2 years ago. Judah is gone. Everybody is gone. Not just Judah, everybody is gone. But Judah been gone. And it thinks it's holding truth. It thinks he thinks he's awakened. They think that they're awakened. They think they got it. They got it. And they so far from anything that's spirit and truth. Now, let's go on. So there it shows you that no man has seen him. So why are they clowning on this earth, proclaiming they have seen Yah? You have not seen Yah, and you will not see him if you still living your life. Now we still in John. In the Gospel of John, we still in the Gospel of John, chapter 1 and verse 14. What does it say in here? Back to the Gospel of John, chapter 1. And what is 14 saying? In verse 14, it says, and the word was made flesh and dwell among us, and we behold his glory, the glory of as of only begotten of the Father. The only begotten mean that's all he had. That's his only of the Father, full of grace and full of truth. You would never, ever find Yeshua being full of grace. You would never hear it talking about Yeshua is grace and mercy. He poured out grace and mercy. He's grace and mercy. You won't. Only the Father is grace and mercy. So this right here, you know it's the Father. His only begotten is his right hand, which is his power. The power of who he is brought down the word, and the power go hand in hand. They came down to assist the Son of Man in the mission for the Father, on the behalf of the Father. That's the beloved. That's the only begotten Son. Yeshua is the Son of Man. The only begotten Son is the Son of Yah. And because the Roman Catholic has smeared so much stuff in here, people don't know if it's they left or they right. They call in soul, spirit, and soul has no detachment to Yah. None whatsoever. Adam was created by the dust, the dirt, in a sense, the dust. And when Yah breathed the breath, he breathed into him a spirit that was the image like unto himself. And man became a living being. But when you put soul there, it confuses the whole world. And it has. Satan came down to do what? To deceive the whole world. See, a lot of things was already in the making. But one thing I say to you, anytime people can take Genesis 1 and 2 and screw it up and then walk throughout life believing they awakened and they got it, like he said, Deborah, if they missed Genesis 1 and 2, they'd have missed the whole book. And I believe that. I believe that. So in the Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 14, it says, and the word was made flesh and dwell among us. And we behold his glory, and his glory as the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. That was the Son of Man, y'all. That was Yah himself. That was his word and his power. His only begotten. So there he go again, showing you that he came down. He, not the Father, but his word and his power came down to work with the Son of Man in the mission of the sacrifice. Okay. So now we finished that. Okay. Now let us go to the Gospel of John, chapter 4 and verse 24. The Gospel of John, chapter 4, verse 24, and it reads, the Gospel of John, chapter 4 and verse 24. Okay. And it reads, Yah is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. Look at the lowercase spirit. You see where we can worship him in our spirit. You can't worship him in his flesh. And that's what they still have not gripped mentally, spiritually, naturally, have they never gripped. Let's go to the Gospel of John, chapter 4, verse 24. And it reads, Yah is a spirit. So why did you make him black, Negro, melanated, Hebrew Israelite? What made you make him what you want the world to make you be? And then you're walking around here in the world saying you awakened. And the only thing you have awakened to is stupidity. And that you still don't understand. That's your only awakening for you. Is stupidity. Okay? Gospel of John, chapter 4 and verse 24. Yah is a spirit. What more can he say? Now watch this here. And they that worship him must, must, must worship him in spirit. See, this is between spirit and spirit. I'll run around here if you want to. I'm how you know how to speak Greek and Hebrew and Torah and feast days. You can do whatever you want. So you come toe to toe with this, you're still out there in darkness. You're going to live there and you're going to die there in darkness. No understanding, none whatsoever. Because it tells you right there, we must worship him, our spirit, and his spirit. That's where we worship him. And when we worship him there, we worship in truth. When Sister Deborah said to y'all, they are not teaching spirit and truth because they're not. They don't have the ruach in their spirit teaching them spirit and truth. They're teaching out of their own self-understanding, their own self-wisdom, their own self-knowledge. Okay, so I wanted to just show you there. It tells you just as plain as day, just as plain as day. Yah is a spirit, and they that worship him must must worship him in spirit and in truth. So it's telling you, see, now when you see verse 24, the Gospel of John, chapter 4 and verse 24, what does it match? It match identical to the Gospel of John, chapter 1 and verse 9. The light and the lowercase light. Here it said spirit in capital and the lowercase spirit. They the same thing, y'all. That's the image of Yah in you. And that is truth. And he is not a black man. Okay. Okay. So we got that done with. Now let us go to Matthew's chapter 17. Matthew's chapter 17 and verse 1. It says 1 through 8. Let's go on through that. Matthew chapter 17. I don't know if I'm going to read all of all the way to 8, but we're going to see. Matthew's chapter 17 and verse 8. I mean verse 1 through 8. Matthew's chapter 17 verse 1 through 8. It reads, and I don't think this is correct. Okay. Okay, I'm trying to get away from it. I think I supposed to have done it just before, but okay, here we go. This is a lot. Okay. And after 6 days, Yeshua taketh Peter, James, and John, his brother, and bringeth them up into a high mountain apart. Verse 2. And was transfigured before them. Transfigured before them. His face did shine as the sun, and his remnant was white as the light. Notice you see the lowercase light. Why? Because Yeshua was born of the flesh. He was given the light of the image of Yah like we have. But what's different about this is where you know where he is standing transfigured Matthew chapter 17 verse 2. It says, and was transfigured before them. What they was trying to get you to see is Yeshua out of the flesh. So you can see what his original entity really was. But see, we too ignorant to understand that because we want so bad to make him us on the flesh. We don't want no part of Yeshua in the spirit. We want him to be like us in the flesh. And we want no part of him in the spirit, because the way we conduct ourselves in this world is nowhere near Yeshua HaMashiach. He has these men or women have not mimicked the footprints of Yeshua. Not even one or two or three of them. But yet they can keep the feast days. They can keep the feast days. They can speak Hebrew and Greek. They can uphold Torah, but you haven't walked in the one that came to show us how to walk holy. You never got behind him to do that, because you're so busy trying to swing the Old Testament where they couldn't even get nothing right, where they sin on top of sin on top of sin, couldn't get nothing right according to the Most High Yah. But that's where you want to reside, in chaos. That's just like you are today. Our people wants to reside in a whole bunch of chaos. If they ain't got chaos, they don't want it at all. Y'all didn't notice that, did you? That's how our people are. They want chaos from one end to the other. They love chaos. They yearn for chaos. They like to be in the midst of it. They like to be next door to it. They like to be in a community, at the work location. Everywhere they go, they like a lot of chaos and confusion. That's how they are. This is a people. Always was. Okay. So when you see in Matthew chapter 16, no. In Matthew chapter 17, Yeshua is taking Peter, James, and John, his brother, and bringing them up into a high mountain apart. What I like about verse 2 is this. Let us go. And was transfigured before them. It's showing you who he is in his realistic identity. They were seeing him in the spirit of who he really is. And these Negroes down here, trying to make him straight Negro, Black, African American, Hebrew Israelite. They want to make it about the color of their skin or their nationality without upholding anything righteous about them. They don't want his spiritual side. They want the natural side. So let's go on and read in verse 2, Matthew chapter 17 and verse 2. And was transfigured before them, and his face will shine as the sun, and his remnant was white as the light. Now you tell me, what was that looking like? Was that a spiritual entity, or was that in the flesh? You see, y'all, that was his true identity from the kingdom. But no, we don't want to see him like that. We want to make him the tribe of Judah. We want to make him, oh, he's a black man. He's a this and he's a that. He's a this and and Jesus wasn't this color. What difference does it make what he is in the flesh? What is he in the spirit? This is where I know Judith is gone. They focus on who he is in the flesh, have no respect for who he is in the spirit. And that's sad. That's why I don't listen to them. That's how gone they are. They're gone, like real gone, y'all. For real. And the mass follow them wherever they go. So listen to this. Listen to where it says, and the remnant was white as the light. Just imagine looking up at the sun. His face was like the sun, and his clothes were like a light. That's the spiritual realm. That's really his true identity. Okay, now watch this here. Verse 3. And behold, there appeared unto them Moses and Elijah talking with him. Verse 4. Then answered Peter and said unto Yeshua, Lord, is it good for us to be there here? If thou will, let us make here 3 tabernacles, one for thee, and one for Moses, and one for Elijah. Meanwhile, he yet spoke. Behold, a bright cloud overshadowed them. And behold, a voice out of the cloud, which said, This is my beloved Son, in which I am well pleased. Hear ye him. Verse 6. And when the disciples heard it, they fell on their faces and were so afraid. Verse 7. Is it 7? Yes, 7. And Yeshua came and touched them and said, Arise and be not afraid. Verse 8. And when they had lifted up their eyes, they saw no man save Yeshua only. Now, see, what they didn't understand is the realm in which they were on. They didn't understand that they was on holy ground. Okay, that's what the high mountain represent. They were on the holy ground. They were with holy men of Yah, Moses and Elijah, and they were with Yeshua in his natural realm. I mean, not in his natural, in his spiritual realm of who he was and who he is. And in it all, you have to see where it says in verse 5, while he yet spoke, behold, a bright cloud overshadowed them, and behold, a voice out of the cloud said, This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear ye him. You see? Hear ye him. Now, who was he talking to? Who was he talking to when he said, This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased? Who is he talking to? He was speaking to all three that was present: Moses, Elijah, and Yeshua. Hear the word of Yah. That's who was being spoke. That's who was speaking. He was speaking unto them. They were not up there because of I don't get it. And after the 6 days, Yeshua taking Peter and James and John and brother and bringing them up into the high mountain, into an high mountain apart, and was transfigured them, and was transfigured and before them. His face was shining. Okay. And behold, there appeared unto them Moses, Elijah, talking with him, and answering. And then Peter answered and said unto Yeshua, If it's good for us to be here, if thou will, let us make a tabernacle, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah. Verse 5, while he yet spoke, behold, a bright cloud overshadowed them, and behold, a voice out of the cloud said, This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear him. No, he's talking to the disciples. The Father is talking to the disciples to hear his beloved Son. So it's the Father talking to the disciples. So here, I wanted you to focus on Matthew chapter 17 and verse 2. The transfigured figured before them. His face did shine as the sun, and his remnant was white as light. That was the spiritual realm, y'all. They were on holy ground, and it was a spiritual realm. Now, this was Yeshua's, the Son of Man, original appearance. His natural heavenly appearance. Okay, brightness of spirit. Okay, now here the reason why Moses and Elijah was in the spirit enough to behold there appear until them Moses and Elijah, where they were able to identify one being Moses and one being Elijah. But notice, and Yeshua was transfigured, okay, and his face shined as the sun, and his remnant was white as the light. So he was in the spiritual realm. Moses and Elijah were also, but not to the point where they were spiritual in the spiritual realm too, in the spirit, but they were able to be identified, okay, in the spirit realm by James, Peter, and John, his brother. They were able to identify that it was Moses and it was Elijah. Okay, now, and that was Matthew's chapter 17, yeah, through 1 through 8. Okay, we got that one. Okay, let us go to Revelation, in Revelation 1 and 10. Let's see what Revelation 1 and 10 is saying. Revelation chapter 1 and 10. I'm going to tell you the truth of the whole matter. You have to be able to know Yeshua as the Son of Man. And you have to be able to know the Son of Yah came in word and in power to work in the flesh of the Son of Man. Okay? The Son of Man has a spirit like you and I. Yes, he has a spirit. When he came down, he did not come down like most children are born from the seed of a man. The way Yah said a woman's seed, I look at that woman's seed and I still see spiritual seed. Okay? But he was born into a people. Not that the people may only praise the fact that he was melanated or he was born into their nation and their nationality and their melanated skin or their black skin or whatever. That's the sickest thing that leads me to understand how we as a people, even those who call themselves Hebrew Israelites, how gone your mind is. Because if that's all you can focus on, is that all you can uphold after 400 years, is that he's melanated, he's melanin skin or black or Negro, you sicker than sick. You forsaking his whole spiritual mission just to grip the fact that he had the same skin tone as you, same hair as you. How sick is that? That does not make him you and you him. It's who he was in the spirit that make you who he is. You see, it's not who you are in the flesh. And this is what the Hebrew Israelite has upheld for 400 years. They want to make, when he told them, I'm going to show you how sick it is. He told Abraham thousands of years ago that his seed is going to go into a land that they know not of, and language they might not know either, which is no of any. He didn't say they was going in here and take over. Make them feel that who they worship should be what they worship. You see what I'm saying? This is where this is where Judah is gone. Because they really think their mission is to convince the Europeans that they are something spiritual, and that's not it. You're not spiritual. You're not going to convince them because of your skin color, your nationality, That makes you better than any and everybody. You's a fool, and you're gonna live a fool and die a fool. Because they never did walk. You never seen none of the Hebrew Israelites talk about walking the footsteps of Yeshua. Too much like right. They don't want no part in the righteous mission of Yeshua. They just want his color, his nationality. That's the only thing they want to use. And that's the only thing they have used. Oh, he's a black man. He got kinky hair. He got red eyes. All these things is what they use. This shows you how long they've been gone. They've been gone a long time. They've been gone a long time. They're not talking. They're not preaching. They're not teaching his mission and how he come to show us how to serve the Most High Yah, or to look up to the Most High Yah, or to be a partaker in the one that sent him. No, they didn't look at none of that. No, they don't want nothing from him outside of his nationality. That's it. They don't want nothing about Yah. They don't want nothing about Yeshua outside of his nationality. They want his color, his nationality, his race, his nation or the tribe he was born in. After that, they want all the things about him on the outside. They want everything about Christ, not Christ, but Yeshua HaMashiach. We can go and add Christ on the outside. They want no part in him in the inside, which is spirit. They want no detachment. They don't want to be detached to nothing like that, because it's righteous, it's upright, it's just, it's spirit and truth, it's the light. They don't want that. They want only his outer flesh. They only taking on his flesh. Let's go to James. James chapter 1 and verse 17. And that's a sad thing, y'all, what I'm saying. It is really sad. I don't know what the Father's whole overall intent for situations in which I'm speaking on. I really don't know his intent as far as that. But from what I believe he has given me so far, everybody's not who they say they are. Let's put it like that. See, he's going to measure that spirit. And they're covering everything in the flesh. They're covering on the outside of man, when God is going to judge him based on their inner man. So while they're working on the out, trying to look the role on the outside, trying to dress the role, trying to fake the role on the outside, trying to speak the role on the outside, trying to control the role of who they are on the outside and everybody, to where their inner man is heading to damnation, because there's nothing in them that's going in any direction of any light, none whatsoever. They're going for the outside of man. That's why they can go around here and tell these heathens and Gentiles that the Most High Yah is black. He is not black. I'm sick of hearing these people. They get these people that they stroll all these websites looking for people who agree and that they are the people. You know, those are sick minds, y'all, that's doing that. Those are sick minds that are trolling Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Patriot, all of these Twitters, trying to find Europeans that say something that's relaying to them being the chosen people, being the children of Yah. They're trying to find any European that said it and don't even understand it, that you will not find it biblical, that they're going to come to the knowledge of who you are and respect you at that level, at any shape, form, of action while you in captivity. You know what they're doing? They're trying to counteract Yah. The tribe of Judah, they men, and now I see the women, they're trying to counteract Yah. They're trying to say, we're going to prove to you what you said is not true. We can find heathens and Gentiles that says, these Europeans that says we the people. Who gives a rat's behind that they know who we are? Wake up, dead sleep people. They knew who you were from the beginning. You see, this is what's wrong with Judah. You see, now does that make sense? You see what I'm saying? This is how gone they are. They think it's about finding people, and they make videos. Oh, this woman or this man said, see, they saying it, they finding, they waking up. This is not waking up, baby. They was woke already. They knew who you were. You were just too stupid to know it. And you're still stupid today as you were stupid yesterday. Still playing that game. And it's a sick game, y'all. It's really a sick game. It's no way I'm going to get on this devil platform and put up people, white people saying we the people. And when you finish, these people wouldn't stand nowhere near you and identify who you are. And you putting them up on pedestals. Oh, see, they know who we are. They identify we the people. I wouldn't even bend down that low to even look at Europeans, white people, Gentiles, and say that they are trying to tell us who we are, or tell the white people who we are. One out of the what 110 million. You sick. You are sick. When more than one, more than a million know who you are. It ain't about who you are. You just ain't figured it out yet. Because that's what you want to make it about, who you are on the outside. But let me pull up on you. Who are you in the spirit realm? You wouldn't even know. You've been clowning for so long, you think your flesh is your spirit. You think your flesh is your spirit. That's how long you've been clowning. So to say this, it's just a sad thing that a people would go through 400 years and start from the beginning and still have not accomplished anything upright or just. Let's go to James chapter 1, verse 17. And it reads, every good gift and every perfect gift is from above and come down from the Father of lights. The Father of lights. Why? This is Yah. He had spirits. That is his image that represents him. And he are their fathers of light, with whom is no variableness, neither shadow of turning. Now, if he is the father of lights, would not he have to be the light? So why do we keep saying he black? Yah is a melanated man. And this is why, the reason why I'm saying it is I'm hearing several white people saying they found out that the black people are the true children of God, and that God is black. No, no. Yah is never black. He never said he was. That's a lie from the pit of hell. And why the world would put up with that, I don't know. That's why they still doing them the same way they've been doing them since they brought them over here on slave ships. And they can't see no change because they got a big screen TV and drive a car and got a job. No, they ain't got a job. They just assuming that they in there. All is well. They don't see you no different, even though they know who you are. Many of them know who you are. So in James, it says in James chapter 1 and verse 17, every good gift and every perfect gift is from above and cometh down from the Father of lights. The Father of lights, with whom is no variableness, neither shadow of turning. Okay, we got that one. Now let us go to Colossians chapter 1 and verse 15. In the book of Colossians, chapter 1 and verse 15 and 16. Let's see what it's saying here. Colossians chapter 1, verse 15 and 16, and it reads, "For by him were all things created that are in the heavens and that are in the earth." Now, by him. Why? Because Yah is the word, and the word is Yah. When the word is spoken, the power put forth that which the word has spoken. So, in Colossians chapter 1, verse 16, "For by him were all things created that are in heavens and that are in the earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions, principalities or powers. All things were created by him, and for him were these things created." See, men? You see how the Roman Catholic put in there, woman was created for man, not man for woman? That was a lie from the pit of hell. I done said it in here more than 10 times. All things was created for him himself, Yah, not for man. Why is he creating flesh? Something special so he can be the way that he is today. And that's what they did. They took the spiritual purpose of what Yah created and they made it a worldly, a fleshly purpose. And that's why people live based on what the flesh versus what the spirit. Okay, that's why they can't see. That's why they can't see, nor can they hear. Because he that has an ear knows that all things are spirit, and not that they are flesh first, but that they are spirit. You have to get the spiritual understanding before you can get any understanding in any type of flesh. Because there's no understanding in it outside of what the spirit has to give you to understand it. That's why he said, get the flesh under the subjection to the spirit. Because the spirit is so willing, but the flesh is so weak. Letting you know the flesh did not come to the earth to have dominion over anything. Okay? It's in the spirit realm. Okay? So let's go back to Colossians chapter 15. 1 and 15 and 16. And it reads, Colossians chapter 1 and verse 15. "Who is the image of the invisible Yah, the firstborn of every creature." Who is that? That's the son of Yah. That's the son of Yah. Okay, that's the firstborn. That's the firstborn. Okay, of every creature. 16. "For by him were all things created that are in the heavens and that are in the earth." Now notice this here. Let's dig deep into this. Notice it says, Colossians chapter 1 and verse 15. "Who is the image of the invisible Yah, the firstborn of every creation. For by him were all things created." The firstborn created all things. That was his power. His right hand. Oh my Yah. Now verse 16. "For by him all things created that are in the heavens." Now we know Yeshua did not create everything in the heaven. "And that are in the earth." But who created it? In the heavens and in the earth. Was not in the beginning was Yah and the word. In the beginning was the word, and the word was Yah, and the word was with Yah, and it was with him in the beginning. You know why? Because the word and the power come hands in hand. They hand in hand. They come together. So when Yah speak, the power bring forth everything that is spoken. So that is the word. It was from the beginning, along with the power. So verse 16, "For by him were all things created," by the power, "that are in the heavens and that are on the earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominion, principalities or powers. All things were created by him and for him." All things was not created for the Son of Man born of the flesh, Use a ladder from the pit of hell. That was the son of Yah. And that's what they missed in Genesis 1, verse 26 and 27. They never knew who the son of Yah was because they never really knew that the word and the power was together. They are the ones that represent the firstborn of Yah. They didn't know that. They still don't know it. They don't care to know it because they're focused on Yah is a black man. Because they don't understand the Son of Man and the Son of Yah are two different. And because they reject the Son of Yah, then they lost without a cause regarding the Son of Man. So they chase down the nationality, the color, the race of the Son of Yah to make them the Son of Man, to make them feel like they somebody important to the eyes of the heathens and Gentiles. And the next lesson gonna show you Yah ain't giving you that glory. So you can go around and claim he black, he woolly hair and red eyes, all you want. Yah ain't gonna let you swing on that type of glory. He ain't gonna let you get it. You gonna play that game. How many white people sit and tell you they know who you are? You and y'all was black. You can say what you want, okay? And that's where y'all messed up. Y'all take on this thing about the race of the Son of Man. Y'all take on his race. Y'all take on his nationality, his tribe. You take on all of that, but you did not take on the spiritual realm of who he was, his purpose, who he came down here with to represent and to make you know who the one he came with him was. You fail. You busy running around and seeing a piece of Negro. Oh, is he melanated? Oh, they know he black. You just as silly can be. Okay? So that was Colossians chapter 1 and verse 15 and 16. A really good verse, a really good one. And they still won't get it. It don't matter though. Like he said, it's all well, Deborah. It's over. It's finished. Now, let's go to. That's it. That's it. That is it. That's it. So my thing is to say to you all, um, they're not going to continue. They're not going to stop the lies and the deception. Oh no, no, I got here it is. Okay. First John. That's it. That's the last one. First John. I'm sitting here looking at it and saying, wait a minute, I didn't. First John. Let's see what First John. Uh, 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 uh. First John chapter 1, verse 5 through 7. First John chapter 1, verse 5 through 7. First John chapter 1, verse 5 through 7. And it reads, this then is the message which we have heard of him and declare unto you, that Yah is light. Why are these heathens and Gentiles on nationwide television call themselves saying that black people are the children of God, that we are the Israelites? And as they continue to talk, they says that because God is black. I have a problem with that. Judith won't have a problem with it because they think they got a thumbs up. I don't care how many thumbs up you get. He said, you come in, curse, you're going to go out. How about that? How many thumbs up you going to get on that? Huh? How many thumbs up you going to get on that? You come in, curse, you're going to go out, curse. How about that? So what I was saying with that is that um, I got sick of seeing them since I've been on this little strike from YouTube. I'm sick of seeing them saying, you know, that which is not true. But they're hearing it from people like us, people who still don't know who we are. Because we thinking it's about who we are on the outer man. I don't want to be known for who I am on the outer man because ain't nothing good about us as a people on our outer man. I'm going to tell the truth and I'm going to make every devil out there upset. Ain't nothing good about us on the outer man. So I'm not going to go around here and tell people when Yeshua was black man and kinky hair. But you know what that make? How dare you say who he was on the outer man and don't give these people who he is in the inner man? Because so do he match you on the outer, or do he match you from the inner man? Are you following him from the inner of who he is? Or are you looking at his nationality and taking advantage of saying that he come from your nation because you're playing the game? And that's why you're still in the land of your captive. Because it's still some things that Judah have to go through. Because Judah still don't get it. And it ain't meant for Judah to get it. I can see that. I can see that. And it's not meant. Because the way these Negro men and these silly women falling behind them, trying to make everything about a nationality, a tribe, but then we ain't following nothing in spirit and truth. Get on somewhere and sit down with that trash. First John, chapter 1 and verse 5, and it reads, "This then is the message which we have heard of him, and declared it unto you, that Yah is light, and in him is no darkness at all." Verse 6, "If we say that we have fellowship with him and walk in darkness, we lie and do not the truth." There you go. Listen to what he said. Oh, that's a really good one. This verse 6, if we say we have fellowship with him, because he's melanated. He's not melanated. I think I'm hoping he's a Negro, or he's black, okay, or brown skin. And we say that we have fellowship with him and walk in darkness, we lie and do not the truth. And do not the truth. See, we lying because we're saying he's a black man with kinky hair and red eyes as if he's us, but yet, what kind of fellowship you have in him? And you walking in wicked and evil darkness. That's the same point I'm making. And I just cannot, through the whole time I've been on here on this message, that's the point I'm making. How dare you take upon the fact that he's from the tribe of Judah? He's brown skinned. You want to say black, whatever. Kinky hair, red, whatever you want to say. It don't mean Zaret behind. Because that's not the one that's going to rise back up. He's coming in spirit realm. For what? The four corners collected. So while you all still hung up on stupid and making it about the outer man and the outer appearance, and then your inner man is wicked as wicked can be. One of the wickedest things that hit the face of the earth. But yet you want to make it all about him, and that lines you up in righteous. If that ain't sick, I don't know what that is. Now, verse 6 says, "If we say that we have fellowship with him and walk in darkness," all because he melanin skin, brown skin, black, tribe of Judah, that makes us fellowship in him, but we walk in darkness. You see what I'm saying? We lie and do not the truth. Verse 7, "But if we walk in the light," praise the mighty Yah, "as he is in the light." Do you see the two lights, y'all? You see the lights. You see he has the same lowercase light as you and I, because he's the Son of Man. He has the same spirit abiding in him that we have a spirit in us. Outside of what he has in him is the Ruach that holds the word and the power. We too inherit that same thing. That's what connects us to Yeshua. We out here trying to connect to him based on kinky hair, brown skin, and red eyes. He's a part of our tribe. He's from us. Around about now, if he would came, he would be shamed. He even said he's a part of what you are. He came to die for you, your trash. And you didn't do nothing but restart it all over again. This is where the Hebrew Israelite mindset is. That's why they're out here killing one another, hating on one another. They don't have no structure. They are destructive. Mentally, physically, spiritually, out of whack. Okay. So in verse 7, it says, but if we walk in light as he is in light, we have fellowship one with another. And the blood of Yeshua Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, his son, cleanse us from all sin. That's if we walk in the light. We ain't talking about that. We ain't talking about walking in the light. We want to talk about darkness. We want to fellowship in darkness and call ourselves something of the light because we got the same texture or we come from the same tribe. Y'all, come on. That's how messed up a people really is and always was what the Father's showing me. He said, Deborah, they've been like this. This is what I've been putting up with. And let me tell you, and I am not y'all. I wouldn't even want to be him. I think he's awesome. I think he's great. I think he's excellent. I think he's perfect. And I just think he's just all that and something to put up with y'all tears. But now I understand why grace and mercy had to be poured out. Grace and mercy is what's holding all of y'all tails up. Because that's just how ugly y'all have become. Just that ugly. So y'all focus on the outer appearance and how to wear your hair and your earrings and your makeup and your fringes and your dressing and men running around here dressing any way they want to dress. Anyway. But they want to put a tag on woman. Sit down. That body that's dressing is going straight to the ground. The focus should have been always on our spirit being. It should have been, which is the light. That's the only way we can even follow the direction of Yeshua is through the light. And we follow in darkness, calling ourselves representing him. And he representing us. Just because of a skin color, a tribe, a nationality that we are called and considered upright. No, you ain't, baby. The Father said we worship him in spirit and in truth. And if he's not in your spirit and you're not worshiping, he's not found in your spirit where you worship him, he abide in you, baby, you are out there. Because those that worship him in spirit and truth are Abraham's seed. You didn't know that, did you? You might be Abraham's seed in the flesh. Sister Deborah is Abraham's seed in the spirit. That's why you cannot wrap the creator into blackness, into darkness. Even Abraham, his whole body has decayed. It ain't gonna show up in the kingdom. And when you do see him, he's gonna be a spirit. How about that? How about that? You think he coming down here looking with an afro and melanated and red eyes and y'all just messed up. Y'all just messed up. And y'all really messed up. I'm gonna tell you something. I ain't never seen in all my 63 years a bunch of black men that then messed up the whole what could have been a beautiful awakening. Yeah, we could have had a beautiful awakening. These men's trashed the awakening and they messed it up. They made it about whoremongering and control and power and wicked and ugliness. And then they want to stand on corners and say they represent the creator himself. I'm out. Shalom and shalom. I hope you got something out of it.